I now invite Professor W.A.
Suggested interventions in NRDF. Again, these are areas that we would like your suggestion.
Of BICOST.
It is indeed a great pleasure to welcome you all this evening to this 8th Biennial Conference on Science and Technology, 8th BICOST. This is a conference held once in 2 years to provide a forum for discussion of science and technology in Sri Lanka, to promote the use of science and technology to achieve rapid economic development and improve the quality of life of our people. This is mandated to NASTEC by the Science and Technology Development Act number 11 of 1994. So this is the 8th such conference that is being held in Sri Lanka. We are very much honored by the presence of Honorable Susil Premajayanta, Minister of Science, Technology and Research, today for this inauguration of this conference. We really appreciate your efforts in developing science and technology in our country. We are aware of the collaborative activities that you have initiated with highly reputed overseas science and technology institutions and also the scientists to develop our human resource capital and also to develop the science and technology sector of this country as a whole.
This framework discovered 10 vital areas as a policy to be implemented by relevant ministries, departments, institutions, and other organizations. Still, I can remember after I took over the Ministry of Science, Technology and Research, Professor Tantrikoda met me in my office in Kollupitiya and asked me to get a date from His Excellency the President to make a presentation. And at the same time, my ministry officials prepared cabinet memorandum and Cabinet of Ministers approved the cabinet paper focus on the formulation of strategies for the implementation of National Research and Development Framework, NRDF. So then group of scientists, about 35, we met His Excellency the President at his residence and made a presentation for more than 1.5 hours, covering all 10 areas. And we had a brief discussion. So then after that, all the scientists were served dinner. So then I was asked to go ahead with the planned program. So though Professor Dhammika Tantrikoda retired from the chairmanship, he is here today with us, and Professor Vijayaratna took over the institution and continued the planned program. As a result, today, normally they have once in 2 years this conference, but this time they are focusing on NRDF. So therefore, today I can see a lot of resource persons covering all the areas mentioned in the NRDF, and Vice Chancellor of the University of Moratuwa is here with us today to deliver keynote address, and all the board members of NASTEC, Professor Nanayakkara, Professor Arjuna Silva and Professor Costa. He is here today with us and he's one of the senior members of the NASDAQ board. So they all are here with us today. And tomorrow, yesterday I met the chairman of the UGC, Professor Mohan Silva, and he told me that he is coming tomorrow to deliver plenary speech. So therefore I find many eminent scientists are here with us today, and this will continue tomorrow, covering all these areas, as I mentioned earlier. Though I was not given any note, while I was seated here, I just put a note myself that what I should focus today at this inauguration ceremony. And with the support of my Ministry of Officials and all the institutions, we had a very successful STS forum in Sri Lanka for the first time in September, with the participation of more than 100 scientists from overseas, from 24 countries, and more than 650 scientists from our country. So the 30 scientists who are expatriates, they came here from United States, Canada, UK, Germany, Australia, and the countries. So they are preparing many programs for us to coordinate with them and get their support to improve science and technology in our country. So then as a result, my ministry and the Ministry of Health making arrangements to send medical doctors in the fields of heart diseases and the cancer and the genomics to Houston. They have been invited by Baylor College of Medicine, the vice chairman of that institution, and they have the opportunity to visit Rice University and the University of Houston and the MD Anderson Research Institution for Cancer and the Genome Lab of Baylor College of Medicine. So then there we have about 12 Sri Lankan scientists attached to those institutions. They are very helpful and they are making all the arrangements during our team's stay in Houston for 3 to 4 days. I think after that visit, the Ministry of Health with the support of my ministry, they will start collaboration with those institutions. That is one example. And as a result of STS, the Japan, the chairperson of STS Forum in Japan, Mr. Umi, he has made arrangements to increase number of scholarships given to our A-level science students annually. It was limited to 10 earlier. Now he promised to give us 100 scholarships 2017, so we can send 20 into 5 batches or 10 into 10 batches during 2017. This 1 week program for our A-level science students. So then we can popularize science subject in our general education.
I was thinking today at the inauguration, tomorrow you have a very active role, and of course we heard the conference plan as to how you are going to address this entire thing. I was thinking when we talked about this, how we should approach to make sure that this research framework is actually implemented. And in the process, I was thinking that when you talked about this implementation, one of the key stakeholders is us who carries out research. And in order for us to carry out research, we should be moved to, we should be passionate about it. We should have the motivation. We should not have frustrations. And ultimate success will be that. And in that light, I was thinking that we need to address towards a conducive science, technology, research, and innovation ecosystem, the entire system that we need to look at to make sure that we progress or that we are productive, and the challenges that we need to overcome. In this process, I was thinking to address these 4 topics. Sri Lanka's research and innovation profile, very briefly to introduce, science, technology, research and innovation initiatives that we have done, and science, technology, research and innovation ecosystem, and also challenges in implementing NRDF. If you consider research and innovation profile in Sri Lanka, I think you scientific community would have seen this one many times. And you can see that over the years, and I don't have the, I had the pointer, but no pointing here. And basically, you will see that from 1966 to 2013, our gross expenditure for research and development as value has increased, but if you consider as a percentage, you can see that today we have the least percentage of research and development investment. And if you consider value-wise, it's high, but if you consider the good, it is much less. And if you compare this one with the contribution from the government and industry, this is indication 0.06% government, industry 0.05%. But if you consider the countries and the average world, 1.57 world average, Central and Eastern Europe 1%, even Africa 0.4%, Asia 0.2%, and it goes on. And in Sri Lanka, you can see that we are nowhere near that percentage. Even the world average is much higher than Sri Lanka's contribution for gross expenditure for research and development. This is something that we know that we want to take on board when we talked about these strategies. If you consider the gross expenditure for research and development, again, you can see the government contribution, private sector, and also in order to spend this money and really carry out research, we need to have good researchers. And if you don't have researchers, certainly even money investing is not useful. Sri Lanka has about 278 in 2013. This is based on the National Science Foundation statistics. Number of researchers per 1 million people. Singapore, 8,486 2012, and world average is over 1,000 in 2011. So we can see the number of researchers that we have in Sri Lanka for 1 million people. So which means that we have a huge task of developing the number of researchers in our country to implement our research strategies. If you consider research and innovation profile, one other aspect that we need to consider is that the IP, intellectual property. If you consider from 2011 to 2015, you can see that the resident applications total 481 and the registration 262. And WIPO, you can see that under PCT system, we have slightly increased, almost similar kind of an average over the years, during the last several years. And you will see the patent ownership by the institutions. So like this is the statistics that we have in really coming out with innovations which are useful, which have a commercialization potential.
Finally, I take this opportunity to express all my sincere thanks to the group closest to me, that is the tiny staff of NASTEC, only 16 members, including drivers and officers, who did an excellent job to make this event a great success. Their dedication, hard work, and commitment right throughout the organizing of this conference is very commendable. I think I thanked all who deserved my sincere thanks. If I missed any person or a group by mistake, please bear with me. Before I wind up, I wish tomorrow's deliberations of the conference success. And what is most important is your presence and contributions at tomorrow's conference. So I do hope to see you tomorrow morning at this venue. Thank you very much for all and wish you a pleasant evening at this hotel. Thank you.